Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's Denise Salcedo, and today I got not one, but two guests joining with me here today is the Hex, the team of Allysin Kay and Marti Belle. Hey, ladies, how are you?
We
Doing
are well.
fantastic.
So I was going to point something out because I find this really funny. So we all have like the no bun, one bun, two bun thing going on right now.
You have to stagger your buns. It's a known
Yes.
fact.
Yes, it's very, very important. Buns are very important to this team, as most people can tell. So we are bun aficionados, actually.
I love that bun aficionados. I'm gonna have to steal that for sure.
Oh
So
yes.
I gotta tell you, I was very happy to see you both on Impact Wrestling once again. I know you guys have had your own separate journeys on Impact, but now it looks like you guys are here together. And I want to start off by asking you about that. Let's get into it. You guys come out, you guys attack the Death Dolls. I know we're leading into a match next week. I'm losing track of the days. Yeah, next week on the 24th against Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie. So I want to start off by asking you a little bit about how you guys felt coming into Impact, attacking them, and then heading into this match. I guess I'll cue it to Allysin if you want to start first.
Well, it's been a while since we've been in Impact, as you know, and it's interesting because I feel like we're now coming back to Impact the same way we just came back to NWA not too long ago, which is together. So we had our separate runs in each company. We left for a while and then come back together, and we found success doing that elsewhere. So we figure, why not? I mean, you want to keep the same formula if it's working, right? Why change it if it's not broken?
That's awesome. Marti?
I think for us, this has always been like best case scenario. We've talked about this so many times. We talked about this even going back to NWA. Like, yes, it'd be so much fun if we were there by ourselves doing our own thing, but how much better could we be, and uh, how much more things can we accomplish together? We always say the Hex is better together. We're great separately, but the Hex is just better together, and we are very excited. We have found, as AK said, a lot of success. Holding championship gold almost every single place that we've been to. So why not do the same at Impact?
But now we also have the added addition of Father James Mitchell, who is, just known for doing so much. The biggest thing, being Abyss's former manager. Now that's, a pretty big, cool legacy from, Impact Wrestling. And also, previously being involved with Sue Young, with Jessica Havoc and Rosemary, tying this all in together. Tell us a little bit about, what I don't know, what can we expect from you guys and James Mitchell?
Marty, you want to take it?
Well, I think the interesting thing that you just said, all those names you listed, basically, that's just helping us do research. We know Taya Valkyrie very well. We know Rosemary very well. We know Jessica. I guess we're not as acquainted with Jessica, I think, as we'd like to be, but we have Father James that has been there from day one with all of them. So that's literally just it's research that we don't even have to do when we have him by our side.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
That's what I was gonna say is, him working so closely with them, it really helps us get our foot in the door and know what to expect. I mean, we don't really know Jessica, but we do know Havoc. And I feel like they're somewhat related. So I think that helps us in the long run. And I will say, I feel like we were a little thrown off, a little caught off guard by James Mitchell's comments in the last promo. I don't really know what exactly he was referring to with the contracts and the souls,
Yeah.
and I feel like my soul is still intact. So I don't really
Same.
know where that was going, but
Same. But I think Father James is a very interesting character. He's a very colorful character, which is something that also helps us. He brings an otherworldly kind of vibe to our group that I think I mean we welcome it. We still have questions that we are hopefully eventually going to get answered by him, but for now we kind of like what he's doing so far.
So, for the viewers that maybe didn't get to see you guys' work prior, what do you think that you can kind of give us I guess you can say a preview or kind of tell the viewers, who you are and what maybe we could expect from the both of you in Impact Wrestling?
well, a lot of people do ask us why we're called the Hex. And while James Mitchell may be using us to put a hex on the Death Dolls, we do also like to clarify we're not witches. There are a lot of witches in wrestling right now, and we're not trying to be witches. We're called the Hex because we will ruin your whole life. That's really
Great,
the
that's
summary.
simple. That's simple. That's straightforward. I'll take it. Okay, so I do kind of want to rewind a little bit because you gave us already some background on the name, the hex, and all of that. But I'm always fascinated by how teams come together because you guys know for the most part, like I really feel like we don't have too many like female tag teams that we're seeing, go across the board to different promotions. Well, there is a handful. There really isn't that many, but you guys, as the hex, have been, you guys were like you mentioned, NWA, doing other indie promotions and things like that, and now in Impact Wrestling. So I want to start off by asking you, how this all came to be, given that you guys both had your own singles career prior. So how did Marti and Allysin come to be together?
I feel like Marti tells this story really well.
It all started 12 or 13 years ago. Actually, I think it's been about that long that we've been friends now. And funny enough, Jessica Havoc actually introduced us. Havoc introduced us, and I didn't think that she would think that this partnership would end up being her worst nightmare, but here we are. Um,
Whoopsie.
yeah, we'll see what happens, right? Well, we were working together at NWA. We were working together in so many different places, and people think that we've been tagging for years, and we've only been tagging two, I guess, right? November 2020 was our first tag match
A
together.
little over 2 years.
A little over 2 years, but during quarantine, everyone's sitting at home. We're kind of trying to figure out what's next. What when things reopen, when shows start back up again, what are we going to do? And we decided, why not do things on our own terms? That's the one thing people are going to have to learn about the Hex, is we do things when we want and how we want to do them. And so we one day just started spitballing stuff back and forth. Allysin, I think, still has the napkin that we started writing names on. And we just kind of decided, like, well, let's just start putting stuff out there. Let's see how people react to us. And we were able to use social media, during 2020 to start getting these opportunities and people being like, oh, what's going on? Like, and so we the first 5 matches that we had in our careers were all tag team title, right? They're all championship matches.
Championship matches, yeah.
Um,
The very first one was at Shimmer for the Shimmer Tag Team Champion. So it was October 2020 is when we started tagging. And then what was it, our third and fourth tag match ever? We won the NWA Women's World Tag Team Championships. We ended up going on to win the Shine Tag Team Championships. We went over to England. We had our Hex the World Tour last year, right around this time. And we won the Pro Wrestling Eve Tag Team Championship. So we've definitely been very hexful, if you will.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you mentioned, how quick things started to happen for both of you guys as a team. Was that what you guys were expecting? Like, how different would you say things were for you guys prior to the tag team and after becoming a tag team? I guess I'll start with you, Allysin.
We always say, Marti and I always say that and I know a lot of people say this, but we were talking about it recently, that you can't expect anything in wrestling. Wrestling owes you nothing. So no, we don't necessarily expect it, but we absolutely have confidence in our abilities. But as many people know, fans and wrestlers alike, that doesn't always equal success. Just because you're confident, just because you're talented, it doesn't necessarily mean that you get everything you want. And it absolutely has to do with being in the right place at the right time. And that's a very frustrating thing that you have to accept in wrestling. When it happens to you, it's great. You're like, finally, I was in the right place. But when it doesn't, it can be very, very frustrating. And I know Marti would agree that in 2020, we were at a very low point, as many people were. But, we were having so much success in NWA in our individual singles careers, and then everything came crashing down. And then suddenly you have nothing. We felt like we were going up the hill, and then all of a sudden everything came crashing down. And that's really where the brainstorming started to come into play, when wrestling started to pick up a little bit more toward the end of 2020. And we were going, okay, what do we do now? Because we can't go back to what was no longer exists. So now we have to evolve. We've been wrestling for a very long time. Both of us have been wrestling. I think we're only months apart. In 2008 that we started wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So you have to evolve in wrestling. You have to change, not necessarily change who you are or your integrity or everything about you, but you have to evolve little by little. And this is the next evolution of our careers.
And I think that's also super important. Kind of going back to what you asked us before, like, what can people expect? I think we are both coming back as different people, personally, and like inside of wrestling, outside of wrestling. We are so much more confident in who we are as people and who we are as wrestlers. I feel like both of us have improved in every single way possible. And so I think you're also getting people who just, man, we just want to keep having fun. We want to keep having a good time and doing things at our own pace, doing things that we want to do. And so I think that that's also really important to come back, especially coming back to Impact, a place that both of us have had different successes, different parallel. We were at one point, in the company together. I mean, fun fact: when I returned to Impact after the Dollhouse, I actually unofficially assisted Allysin in winning the Knockouts Championship for the first time. So
That did happen. And I think a lot of people forget about that, but you were involved in that match. It was the three-way at Slammiversary in 2016, me, Jade, and Gail.
I
So
love that. I love that
it all
because
comes back full circle.
yes, I was about to say that it all came full circle. And on top of that, I love the whole thing about, Allysin, what you touched on, which is really, the timing of things and, growing and doing things differently and whatnot. And I do feel that you guys as a team are kind of like filling this void in terms of like, women's teams. Like I said in the beginning, you don't really see too many of them. So for you guys to like go in there and be like, hell yeah, like we're coming out here, we're kicking butt and we're proving that you do want to see women's tag teams, because this is always, a big conversation in social media. Women's wrestling is always a huge conversation when it comes to that. And I also wanted to bring up because, for the 2022 PWI top 100 tag teams, you guys were number 9, top 10. How did that kind of feel? Did that sort of feel like a little bit of validation in terms of what you guys had been doing so far? Marty, we'll start with you.
I feel like I've been in a really crying mood today, so I'm trying not to. I'm like, you know what?
Hey,
Yeah,
let
you're
out
right.
the tears, let out the happiness.
You'll learn that we really are yin and yang. So Marty is more of the emotional, I'm more of the straight face. You'll get that real quick.
It works though. It works.
It's crazy because we did it all on our own. I think that to us is like the most important. Holy shit, can I curse? I'm so sorry.
Yes, you can. No, you're fine. You're fine.
I think that to me, like when I saw that was like the biggest, like, holy shit, we did this completely on our own. We did this without a contract in any company. We did this, reaching out to, and that's another thing that's really cool too, is that we can pull from each other's contacts. AK is going to reach out to this company in England. All right, cool. I'm going to reach out to this one in Spain. Like, we're just going to keep working together. And that's like that's the craziest thing, is that we did this completely on our own, just betting on ourselves and being like, we're going to go over to the UK. We're going to do all these fucking amazing matches there. We're going to come back and kill it here in the US. And we're just going to keep going. And to me, that is like, what is the craziest to me. Like, I don't care how high I've gotten by myself, whatever. Like, to me, doing it as a team, and there are so many freaking amazing tag teams in the world, period. But to be in the top 10 and being the only women in the top 10
In the
not
US.
gonna lie, in the US, not gonna lie, like, felt really fucking good.
I'm
Yeah.
so happy for you guys. And I'm so glad that you mentioned kind of pulling from each other, because that is something that I wanted to ask you. You mentioned you guys being so different. Allysin, I'll ask you this one. What do you feel that you guys have both each brought that's different and similar, whether it be like from character standpoint or even just like, from a planning standpoint? What's the relationship like, the friendship? What's that like?
Like I said, I really do feel like we are yin and yang. That's our last t-shirt design, by the way. Actually, they're sold out anyway, but we really are yin and yang. We complement each other so well. And it's so fascinating. Like we went to Europe for like a month last year, and we did not fight once. This is like real behind the scenes stuff right here. We didn't fight once. Like, honestly, Marty didn't even get on my nerves. Like we just work so well together. And I think it is because and a lot of people get on my nerves. Okay. But I feel like any situation where you're living with someone for a long time, they're
For
going
a
to get on your nerves.
month.
Yes.
A whole month of traveling. And we had some like little blips here and there with traveling. Like one day we were supposed to go to Portugal, for example. We got stuck in the Barcelona airport for the whole day. We could not go to Portugal. It was like, whatever. It's not even important to tell here, but we were there for the whole day, and we know how to get things done, and we know how to work together. But at the same time, we're so opposite and we complement each other. Like Marty will joke that I taught her how to put her like big girl pants on. I'm the one that's going to be like, look, bitch, and Marty's the one that's going to be like, okay, can we sit down and talk about it? Like a little more civilized than me. So we complement each other in those ways. But our friendship is really what solidifies that and and helps us also work together.
I love that. I'm so jealous of that because it's true though. When you're in a partnership like this, and this is both of your careers, your livelihoods at stake, you guys got to work well with each other or else it's not going to work.
Yes, we
talk
have
about it
actually
too.
been in situations with tag teams that of course I'm not going to name, who were like fighting each other. And we're like, girl, we're going to fight us in a minute. Like you can't be fighting each other. And so we definitely work together. And I want to touch on something you actually mentioned earlier, Denise, about filling a void, because that is something we talked about in 2020. I feel like throughout our careers, we have always looked for what is missing in wrestling right now, because you can't just be like everyone else. You know, we've always tried to, of course, play to our strengths and find things that are missing in wrestling. And I feel like in 2020, we really said to each other at one point, there are not really many women tag teams on the indies that are established. I think at the time it was like Sea Stars, and that might have been about it, because there wasn't a lot of indie tag teams in the US of females. And that was a huge part of why we're like, we should do this. We are actually friends. We actually want to tag together. All the tag teams we're seeing, some on TV too, but also especially on the indies, we're throwing together people, you know, where a promotion is saying, hey, you two, you're going to fight them because we don't have any tag teams. We're like, we want to be a tag team. So I think that's something that also draws people to us, is that they can feel that we want to be here and that we're actually having fun together. That's something people say to us when they see us in the ring is, you look like you're actually having fun out there. And we're like, that's because we are.
And that's really important too, because there have been a lot of situations, like even when we were in the UK, where we weren't in a great situation or things were weird or we're like, what the hell is happening? But we have each other, so we know we're fine. We're both kind of like, when we need to plan things, we will plan things, but we're also very much like go with the flow, like whatever happens, happens. And that's very important, because if you have somebody who's super rigid, AK is literally the friend that I can text and be like, I'm going to DR this weekend. Do you want to come? Or not even do you want to come, but hey, let's go to DR this weekend. It's just like, all right, cool, let's go. So like that's also really important, to have somebody that you know that has your back, that cares about you, and that is going to be down for whatever crazy adventure you have in mind.
That is so cool, man. Oh my God. I love it. I can talk to you guys forever. I know we're down to the wire here. We got a couple minutes left. So I am going to put your, I guess you can say your BFF-ness. I don't even think that's a word, to the test
You
here.
made it a word.
Yeah, it's a word now. I'm going to ask you guys each a question about the other person, and then you just let me know if the other person is wrong or not. And we're going to start off with Marti here. So here we go. Question number one. What is Allison's favorite food?
What Allysin could eat all the time, maybe not necessarily her favorite food, but what she could eat all the time is sushi.
Is she right?
Correct.
Wee, ding, ding, ding. All right. What is Allison's favorite genre of music?
Ooh, that one's really hard, because Allysin listens to a lot of different things, a lot of things that you wouldn't expect her to listen to. But if I had to pick one, like if what's probably playing in her house now, I want to say like your mom's country music.
Oh, okay. Is she right?
I would say yes. I go, my playlists are like reggaeton and 90s country.
And that was gonna be my
a
other
lot of
one. Or like
90s.
Spice Girls.
That's not
It's
what
like
I was
there's
expecting, by the way. I was
Yeah.
not expecting that whatsoever. All right. Question number 3. What is Allison's favorite item of clothing?
Her favorite. Oh, is it her favorite, or what I know she likes to wear? And what if she wasn't
It can be
on
like a
camera right now?
specific
She'd be
item.
wearing?
Yeah.
If she wasn't on camera right now, she would have her red robe on.
I'm a robe guy. Yeah, I'm a robe guy at home for sure.
Question number 4. Is Allison an early bird or a night owl?
I will literally get text messages from Allysin at 2 or 3 in the morning. Allysin is a night owl.
Okay. And last question. This one's more on like whatever you think, Marti. What is one word to describe Allison?
Amazing.
I was about to say, do you agree with that word? And then she said amazing. Who wouldn't agree?
No, one word. I think it's one that we both have used to describe each other: loyal.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Amazing also,
Important
but
too.
loyal.
Yes. All right, here we go. Allysin, your turn. Question number 1. What is Marti's favorite social media app?
Well, you know what it
Ooh.
isn't.
I know it's not Twitter for sure. I know that for sure. I guess by default it would be Instagram.
That's the only one I really use. Yeah.
Okay. Question number 2. What is Marti's favorite movie?
Ooh.
Marti's favorite movie. Oh,
Does Marti watch movies?
I know. I'm like, Marti doesn't really watch movies.
My favorite horror movie.
Your favorite horror movie is The Orphan.
Okay, there we
Yes.
go. Good one. Question number 3. What is Marty's favorite color?
Purple. Easy.
Alrighty.
I was trying to
And
lean into the camera. I'm literally wearing purple eyeshadow. Yes.
oh yeah, I see it. I see it. Question number 4. Does Marty prefer going out or staying in?
That's hard to say because I feel like both of us are, it can change on a whim. Marty, I will say Marty is definitely more extroverted than I am. So I'm just going to say going out, but I also know she loves staying in. So I don't know. There's not really a good answer to that one.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Yeah, literally everything AK just said.
All right. And last question, same question is, what's the one word you would use to describe Marty?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many going through my head right now. Resilience.
Oh, that's a strong
You
word.
know
I
what's
love that.
freaking insane? I swear to you, that is what I was gonna say for yours.
I believe you.
I wish we could have been like writing this down, like holding it up, because I
Or said it
swear
at the
that was
same
the
time.
first one that came
Yes.
up. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, it's not wild because it's us, but yes.
That is so cool. I love it. You guys know each other so well. All right, Allysin, Marty, I really had a great time chatting with both of you. That is it for today. But before we go, just let the people know where they can follow you and support you on social media and all of that good stuff. Marty, we'll start with you.
MartiBelle.com, MartiBelle.com. There's also a link tree that has all of my social medias, but MartiBelle.com, you can kind of go from there.
Same.
Allysin?
AllisonK.com. You can find everything, all my socials, all my exclusive content sites, all that fun stuff. Twitch. I do stream on Twitch every week. Definitely check that out. We just did a Hot Girl Twitch episode that Marty was on, and we had special guests. Gia Miller was one of them. Jamie Senegal was the other. Highly recommended. But AllisonK.com, you can find all of that.
And you can also find each other's information on each other's link trees.
Of course.
I love that. I love that. Well, I'm going to post all of those links in the description box below so you can give them both some love. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, everyone.